Okay, so hello guys, welcome back to the new video. So in this video, we're gonna make this beautiful dashboard using reactjs and the Tailwind CSS. Okay, so let me refresh my project and I will show the demonstration of the project which we're gonna make in this video. So after refreshing, you can see that we have this beautiful charts coming here with the animations like this. And if I click on this hover, and if I click on these boxes, we have this hover effect also. And if I click on the icon, the hover effect we also have here, the color become darks. Okay, so you can see that we have these menus here, and this is and when I click on this button, it will change its width like this, the menu width and the full and this main container width also changes according to this. Okay, so we have this sidebar here, and the width of the sidebar will change after toggling this icon like this. And after that, we have this logout button. Okay, so let me, and if I go in the search icon, it we have this hover effect also. So I will show you how to make this all dashboard. Okay, so and if I go on the red option, you can see that we have the analytics coming here also. And if I go in the blue option, we have all this detail according to the chart. Okay, so I will show you how to add this chart from scratch also. So let me go to the responsiveness of this. So if I go to the inspector, so if I show you the mobile responsiveness, so you can see that when I go in the small screen, the layout of the dashboard will change according to the screen. So you can see that when we are on this, the menu is automatically changes and it is shrink to this width. Okay, and this is totally responsive also. You can see that we have this all the information coming here in a beautiful way. And if I click on the boxes, the animations are also working here like this. Okay, so if I go back, the menu will change back to its normal, and also this button will appear for shrinking the sidebar. Okay, so you can see that this is totally responsive for all the screens. So I will show you how to make this dashboard. So let's start the video and we're gonna make this from scratch. So for making this, what we have to do, we have to so let's go to our desktop and go to our main folder, and here we're gonna make a folder. Okay, so let's make a folder here. So I'm gonna make a new folder. So let me name it new dashboard, and inside the folder we have to go inside the folder, and after that we have to open this with code. Okay, so you can use the VS Code or any code editor according to you. I will suggest to use the VS Code. Okay, so after that what we have to do, we have to, let me zoom it little bit so you can see it properly. Okay, so after that we have to open the terminal here. So open this, and after that we have to go to the Tailwind CSS official website. So let's go to Tailwind CSS official website. You have to click the get started, and in the quick search, search here install Tailwind CSS with white. Okay, so you can see that here we have the first command. So copy this command and go to your VS Code and run this command here. Okay, so let's wait for it to run. Okay, so right now you can see that we have our project in the my project, and if you want to name your project, when we install it, you have to just replace this name with your project name. Okay, so let me close this, and from here we're gonna go to our my project and let's open this with VS Code. Okay, so let's open this with weird code. Okay, so this is open, so let's go to new again, and from here we're gonna run our second command. Let's install the Tailwind CSS. Now we have to go here and install this. So let's wait for it to install. Okay, so our Tailwind CSS is installed, so let's get back to, and here we're gonna install the npx tailwind init -p. So let's get back to this, and we're gonna install this here. Okay, so this will install a tailwind.config.js file. So we have to go to this file. So let's go to this file, and from here we have to just copy this tailwind.config.js whole code, and we're gonna paste this here and save it. Then after that we have to copy this index.css from the documentation, and we have to go to the src folder, and from here go to the index.css. Just remove all the css code and paste these three lines of the tailwind. Then after that, we have to copy this app.jsx file from here, then go to your app.jsx and remove all the code and just paste this code. Okay, so that's it. So let's clear our terminal. Write cls and press enter, then enter npm run dev. So it will open a localhost where your project will be set up and you can view your project. So let's open this. Okay, so you can see that our project is successfully set up. So let me close our previous project and we're gonna make this, and let's start building our dashboard using the reactjs and the tailwind css, baby. Okay, so first we're gonna make our app.jsx. So for that, I am using some extension of the VS Code. The first extension is the ES7 plus Redux React snippets, and the second extension is the this one, intelligence for the Tailwind CSS. Okay, so you have to just install these two extension. Okay, so let's write it here. R. Okay, so let's write it here. RAFCE. So before that, I have to copy my assets folder. I will give you the assets folder in the video description, so you can copy the assets folder from there, which contain all the images of the website which we're gonna make. Not website, the dashboard. Okay, so let me copy my asset folder from here, and let's back to new dashboard, my project. In the src folder, I'm gonna remove the old assets file and let's paste the new assets file here. Okay, so now our setup is ready. So just go to the src folder, and here you have to make a new folder named sections. This will contain all our main section. Then in the src folder, make a folder components. This will contain our small components which we're gonna render on our website. Okay, so in the src folder, we have to make a folder, we have to make a file main.jsx, and one more file, site bar.gsx. Okay, then inside the component folder, we have to make a file header.gsx, and one more component we have to make our chart.gsx. Okay, so these are the main components. So let's go to the main.gsx, and here I'm going to write the rfc. So save, then go to sidebar, and here I also write the rfc, then save, then header rfc save. Then in our chart also write this. Okay, just save it. Okay, so after that, okay, so our all the components are ready. So let's get back to the app.jsx, and in the app.jsx, we have to import some components here. So let's add here main, and inside the main we have to write sidebar. So it will auto import the sidebar, and after the sidebar you have to write main, and okay, so let's write it like that. So it will automatically import that. So inside the main we have to give some style. So class name, width full, bg slate 200, height screen flex, justify between, item start. Okay, so let me save this, and we're gonna back to our front end, so you can see that the project is rendered. So right now we don't have anything inside the main, I think. Okay, so only our sidebar is rendered. So let's get back to. Okay, so now what we have to do? We have to make. Okay, so let's start making our sidebar. So before that, we have to open a new terminal from here. So let's open this new, and inside this we have to install some things. So let me write here npm I, and we have to install the react icons. So write here npm I react icons and press enter. Okay, so let's wait for it. Okay, so this is installed. So let's get started, and we're gonna make our sidebar. So inside the sidebar, what we have to do, we have to import some icons from the react icons. So right here md, dashboard, MD, outline message, and MD logout. And here I have to write from react icons MD. Okay, so after that we have to import si write sis im. Okay, simple analytics, and this will import react icons si. Okay, so after that we have to import lia tools solid from react icons lia. Okay, so after that we have to import iOS IO settings sharp react icons IO5. Okay, so after that you have to import FA arrow right from react icons library FA. Okay, so at last okay, so these are all the things which I have to import, and let me install one more library which is a React framer motion. So right here npm I framer motion. So it will install the framer motion library which we gonna use for the animation of the sidebar. Okay, so these two libraries are installed. So after that let's go to here and we're gonna write import motion from framer motion. Okay, so let's save it. Okay, so after that what we have to do, we have to define some variants here which are the part of the framer motion. So right here constant variants, and inside that we have to write expanded, and here we have to give expanded width to be 20%, and after that we have to write non-expanded, and non-expanded width will be 5%. Okay, so the expanded width is for the desktop version and the non-expanded width is for the sidebar for the smaller screens. Okay, so after that we have to define our nav items. So right here nav items and open an array, and inside the array we have to open an object, then write here name. We have to, in the name we have to give the dashboard, and for the icon we're gonna use MD dashboard. So let me copy this name from the above like that, and just we have to copy this four times, one, two. Okay, so we have to copy this whole and we have to duplicate this, two, three, four. Okay, so this is duplicated. Now what we have to do, we have to write here analytics, and for that we have to copy the analytics. So let me copy this icon and I'm gonna paste it here. Okay, after that we have to write here message, and for the message I'm going to copy the MD outline message icon from the above. So let's copy this, and then after the dashboard messages we have to write here tools, and for the tools I'm going to copy the LIA tool solid icon, and at last we're going to write it here settings, and for the settings I'm going to copy the IO setting sharp like that. Okay, so after that, what we have to do? We have to add a function here inside the constant sidebar. We have to add some states. So let's add constant, and here I'm gonna write active nav items and set active nav index. So this is the index, not items. So index. After that, we're gonna use the use state, and inside that we have to give the zero value. So right now the active index value is 0. Then also then again define a use state, and here we're gonna write is expanded, set is expanded, and this is also a use state. This is for the sidebar shrinking effect. Okay, so here I will give true. So for the default our value will be expanded. After that we have to write here use effect. Okay, so let's add some brackets here, and after that we have to open this, and after the use effect we have to add here like this array. Okay, so let's close this, and inside the use effect what we have to do, we have to make a function handle resize. So this will be an arrow function. So let me click here like this. Then here we have to define the width. So constant width will be window dot inner width. Okay, so if width is less than equal to 768, then we're gonna set is expanded false, like that. And in the else part we have to write set is expanded true, like that. Okay, so let me end this. So here we have to write handle resize. Okay, and here let's write window dot add event listener. So we will add an event listener here, the resize event listener. So it will listen for this, and it will trigger this handle resize function after listening. Okay, so let me add a semicolon here, and after that we have to clean up the function. So we have to write here return, and let's open this, and here we have to write window dot remove event listener, and the event listener is a resize event listener, and inside that we have to again call the function handle resize according to that. Okay, so our I think uh, this code is also done. So use effect is done also. So now let's inside the return statement we have to write here section. So let's write it here section like this, and for that we have to add the animation to it. So we have to write here motion dot section, like that. Okay, so let's add some styling to this section. So let me format this, and in the view we're gonna have the okay. So let me add some styling to it. So inside this let's add some animation first. So let's add animate is expanded. If is expanded is true, we're gonna add the expanded here, and or if it's not true, we're gonna add non-expanded, like that. And let's call the variance here, like that. Okay, so after that what we have to do, we have to add the styling. So right here class name, and what we have to do, we have to open like this, and here we have to give width of 1 by 5, bg gray 950 height screen flex call justify between item center gap of 10, and the position will be relative. Okay, so let me add space, and after that we have to add the plus, and here we have to add is expanded. If is expanded, so we have to add py8. The padding in the x-axis would be py8, then padding in the padding in the y-axis would be 8, and padding in the x-axis would be 6. Let's add some space again, and again we have to add a semicolon here, the colon, and if it's non-expanded, so we have to add the padding px8 and py6. Okay, like that. So what we have to do, so inside this we have to open a div here. So let me style this div, class name flex call justify center gap of 8. Okay, so after that okay, so inside this div what we have to do, we have to write is expanded. If is expanded is true, so we have to add a div here, and let's give this div id of logo box, and inside this div we have to write h1. Let's give this h1 some classes. Text red 600, font bold, text 4xl, and inside this I'm gonna write debug. Let's open a span tag here, and in the span tag I'm gonna give some styling, italic, text yellow 500, and here we have to write entity. So let's save this, and we're gonna format this. So let's get back to our front end. So here you can see that we have some error here. Okay, so let me first complete this code, and okay, so right now this is our first div. So after that we have to write here colon. Okay, so inside this also we have to render a div here. Okay, so let me close the div, and let's give this styling to also. The class name we're gonna use flex justify item center. Okay, then inside this we have to enter a h1 tag, and let's give this h1 a classes here. Text red 600, font bold, text reactjs, and inside this we're gonna write d, and after the h1 we have to open a span tag here, and in the span tag let's give some styling. So this is our menu which we are making. So let's write here class name italic, and text yellow 500, text 3xl. So after that we have to write here e. Let me save this, and you can see that our menu is appearing here like that. Okay, So after that, what we have to do, and if I go to in the small screen, you can see that the menu will change. So let's go through this. So you can see that our menu is working and its width is also changing now. Okay, so let me close this. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to open a div here, and inside this div we have to give an id, nav links box. Then after that we have to give the classes name. So let's style this flex, flex call, justify center, item center, by center, item center. Okay, so this will be item start, gap would be 5, width would be full, and empty top would be 5. Okay, so inside this we have to render our nav items. So write it here, nav items dot map on this, and here we have to write item and then index. And after that we have to open this bracket on this. Inside this we have to render a div here like that. So inside the div we have to write key item dot name, and let's write it here link box. And inside the class name we have to give some class. So write it here flex, justify start, item center, gap of 4, width full, cursor pointer, and rounded excel. Okay, so let me format this code once. Okay, so inside this div, after the rounded excel we have to give some space. Okay, so after that let's add plus here, and here we have to write active nav index if it's equal to index. Okay, then question mark, if it is equal to index we have to add bg yellow 500 and text black, give some space. If it is not, we have to give text white. Okay, give some space, then after that add plus again, then write is expanded is true, then we have to give the padding of px6 in the x-axis and py2, and if it is not expanded then we have to give p2. Okay, so let's format this code. So now what we have to do, after the p2 here we have to call an on click function, and inside this you have to call set active index equal to index, so it will automatically set the index. Let's format this and let's go to our front end. Okay, so you can see that right now I don't have anything inside this div, so that's why our menus are not showing. So let's get back to the div here, and inside the div I'm gonna write a div again. So let's give this div some classes, bg yellow 300, text black, padding of 2, rounded full. Okay, then inside this div we have to render here item.icon. So let's save it, and you can see that our this is rendered here. So inside the item.icon we have to give some style again. So give here md for the medium screen, width would be 6, and For small screen, width would be 4, height would be 4 for all the screens, and for the medium screens, height would be 6. So let's format the code again. Let's get back to the front end. Okay, so our icon size are changed now. So after that, after this div, we have to open a span tag here, and inside this we're gonna write item question mark dot name. So let's save this. So you can see that our menus are ended here. So just what we have to do, we have to give this some styles. So right here class name, and inside this, so we have to enter this bracket, then this, then right here text lg, give some space, after that plus, and right here is expanded flex. If it is true, then it will be flexed or hidden. Okay, so the text will be hidden for the mobile screen. So let me show you. If I go here and if I go to the inspect option, you can see that our text is not visible like that. Okay, so it is not visible. Okay, so let's get back again. Okay, so we have to do one more thing. So we have to just to copy our this nav link div from here, and we have to paste this inside this. Okay, so let's format this. So right now we have the first section. Then after that we have this main div. Okay, so this main div is for this section. Okay, so you can see that now we have to make the second main div. Okay, so this is our main section. Then inside this we have this div, and after that we have to make another div here. Okay, so this div, so let me style this div. So let's give this id first, standard icon, and inside this class name we're gonna write bglo 500, text black, padding of 2, rounded full, cursor pointer absolute, and give some minus right 4. Okay. Then bottom would be 20 from bottom, and for the medium screen bottom would be 40, and for the medium screen it would be flex, else the arrow would be hidden. Okay. And after that we have to write here on click, you have to call a function here directly. We have to write a set is expanded, and we have to toggle this with is expanded. Okay, so it will toggle the sidebar menu. This is the icon which will toggle the sidebar menu. Then inside this we have to just trigger an icon FA right, like that. So let me format this and go to our front end. So you can see that I have this like this. Okay, so I think this is not working perfectly. So let's me go here, and so let me find the issue. Okay, so after clicking on this nav items we are getting the issue. So I think the issue is there with some brackets. So you can see that here we have opened the active index and we have not close it here. So we have to close this, and after that this is open from here, and this is closing here. So here we have added the two brackets. So let me close the one bracket. Okay, so let's save. Okay, so after that you can see that our issue is solved. Okay, and also our the shrink is working properly after clicking on the icon. Okay, so let's go forward and we're gonna make the next section. Okay, so this section is done. Okay, so after that we have to enter our final div, which is for the logout button. So here we have to give an id logout box. So let's give some classes here. So width would be full, flex, flex column, justify start, item center, gap of item center, then gap of 4, then cursor would be pointer. Okay, so inside this div, let's format this. And inside this div, we have to add another div, and this div will contain the horizontal line only. So let's give this class name bg slate 700 with full height would be 0.5 pixel. Okay, so let me save this and format this again. So you can see that we have this line here. After that, after this div, to add another div. So let's style this also. Flex, justify center, item center gap of 2. Okay. Then inside this div, we have to trigger a icon md logout auto close, and after that we have to add the class name text wide height of 6 width of 6. Okay. So our this arrow is coming here. Okay, so let's after the md logout we have to add a span tag here, and let's give some styling. Okay, so we have to open this right here text wide text lg. After that we have to just give some space, and here we have to write is expanded true. If it is expanded, then we have to just write here flex, else it would be hidden, and just write it here logout. Let's format this and let's get back to the front end. Okay, so you can see that our sidebar is perfectly working now, and if I click on this, the it will shrink to this width, and when I click again it will shrink to its full width. Okay, so let me go to the inspect part of this video, and in the mobile version also the sidebar is perfectly working. So now the next section is only our main section is left. Okay, so let's start our header section. Okay, so let's open our header and let's close the sidebar. Also we're gonna close the main and just close the our chart also. Okay, then inside this what we have to do, we have to import some icons here. So let's import io search from react icons io file, and after that we have to import io ios arrow down from react icons io library, and after that we have to import client from. So this is the image we have to import from assets images client1.jpg. Let's format this. Okay, so now inside this we have to write section. So let's give this section a class name with full pg slate 100 height of 20. For the large screen height will be 20, and for all the screen height will be fit. Then flex for the large screen, flex column. Okay, flex for the large screen flex column, and for the smaller screen flex would be called. Then justify between item center, then padding would be 4, rounded XL, and for the large devices, gap would be 2, and for the mobile screen, gap would be 4. So let's format the code and go to view, and from here you have to do the word wrap. Okay, so after that, inside the section you have to add a div here, and up inside this div you have to write here overview. So let's style this h1 here. We're gonna write class name here, write 2xl, and font would be semi bold. Okay, so let's format this. So this is not visible right now because this is not visible right now on the front end because we have to make the main section here, and inside the main section we have to call this header. Okay, so let's first make them. So let's go to our main section. We have to call this header. So inside the main section, let's write it here section again. So we have to copy our header, not main, like that. So let's save. So let's get back to the front end. So you can see that overview is coming. Okay, so our section is started rendered here. Now what we have to do, let's complete our header. After that we have to enter another div, and inside this div let's give the class name flex, justify between item center gap of 10, and inside this div we have to write IO search icon, and let's give this icon class name of width 6, height 6, cursor pointer, and for the hover scale would be 150, and for the hover text yellow 500, transition all. So let's format this, and after that we have this in the front end. Okay, so after the IO search we have to enter a div here, and inside the div we have to write client info. So let's give a class name here flex items center gap of 4. Okay, then inside this div write image and write it here client, then write it here client image, and give class name of rounded full width of 12, height of 12, because our image is rendered. Okay, so we have to change it here client. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so different image is rendered now. After that we have to open a div here, and let's give this div some styles. So let's call by center item start, and inside this div we have to enter another div. So let's style this div also. Class name flex, justify center items center again, and minus mb1 gap of 2, and inside this div you have to write an h1 tag, and in the h1 let's write hijack, and after that after the h1 we have to open a IO's arrow down, like that. Let's format this, and inside this h1 we have to give some styles, text styles, font semi bold. Okay, then let's format this. And after this div, we have to write here p admin. So let's format this and let's save and go back to the front end. So you can see that it is coming like this because we don't have made our main section. Okay, so this section is done. So just we have to get back to the main section now. So we are our in the main section. So we have to import some icons here also. So let's import FA from Facebook, F and FA Instagram. Then after that we have to import Twitter, FI Twitter from React icons, FI. Okay. Then after that we have to import some image. Import client from assets from images client.jpg. So just we have to copy this 4 times. So let's duplicate this. So you have to just press the alt plus shift and the down arrow key, so it will automatically copy all the. So just you have to change the name. So let's quickly change the name. For this you have to write 2. For this write 2. And after that you have to write 3. Write 3. Write 4 and write 4 here again. Okay. Then after that we have to import. Okay, so we have to import the hour chart. So we will make the hour chart at last. Okay. So now what we have to do? We have made this section. So inside this section, let's give some classes. So width would be 4 by 5, grow, bg white, height screen, so it will be full width, and overflow y auto flex flex column, justify start, items center, gap of 2, and padding would be 4. So let's format this. Go to view and do the word wrap. So let's get back to the front end. So you can see that it is now in the center, but still it is not perfectly. We are getting the layout like this because if I go to our header.js, you can see that for the large devices I have written here flex call, but this is flex row. Okay, so just change this and save this. Okay, so now you can see that our layout is working, and we have this. Okay, so let's get back to our main, and from here the header, let's comment the main section starts here. Let's comment it out, and after that we have to write here div, and inside the div, so this is our the main section, and inside this main section we're gonna make two sections, the left and right section. Okay, so here we're gonna have to give some id. So right here main section, this is the complex layout, so you have to just write very just copy and write according to it, follow along. Then inside the class name, we have to write grid, and for the large devices grid calls 3, and for the small screen grid calls 1. Okay, then gap would be 4, width would be full, and height screen. So let's format this. Okay, then inside this div you have to make a div, and id would be left. Okay, so this is our left section. So let's give the class call and 2, padding would be 2, gap of 3, flex flex call, justify between, item center, and height would be full. Okay, so let's format this. So so now we are inside the left section. Okay, so left section. So first we have the three section layout, three grid, three grid layout. Let's comment it out. And inside this we have to make a div here. So this is the main div of the three grid. So write it here, class name grid for the large devices. Grid calls three, grid calls one for the smaller screen. Gap of 4, width would be fill and margin bottom would be 4. Let's format this. Now we are inside this main grid. So after that we have to make a div again. Okay, so this is our first box. Okay, so let's write it here, class name. It would be full flex call justify center item center and bg blue 200 padding would be 5, download excel gap would be 5, and then write transition transform transform transition transform, then transform, then on hover write rotate of -5 degree, then on hover write scale of 105, then cursor pointer and write the cursor pointer. Okay, then let's format this, and inside this to write another div. So inside this div let's give the class name with full flex justify between item center. Okay, then inside this you have to write an h1, so it would be Facebook. Let's write another h1 would be plus 21.75%. So let's give this h1 some classes. Text would be md, text black, font semi bold, and inside this you have to write text green 600, font semi bold. Okay, format this. Then after this div you have to write with full flex justify between item center. Okay, then inside this div you have to write this div again. So let's give this div some classes, flex call justify center to start and gap of 1. Okay, then we have h1 and h1 would be 10 328, and after that we have one more h1, or let's use the p paragraph, and for the and here I'm gonna write followers. Okay, so let's give this h1 some style. Text 3xl, text black, and font semi bold. Okay, then after that you have to give some style to this. Text slate 700. Let's format this, and let's get back to our front end. So you can see that our first box is ready, and also our the animation is working. So now what we have to do, After that we have to make another div, and let's give this div the class name bg blue 400 on hover bg blue 500, and then cursor pointer. Okay, then text would be black, padding would be 3, and a rounded full. Okay, so after that, inside this div we have to just render the Facebook icon. So render it like that. We have Facebook like this. Then we have to give some classes to this. Class name width pixel, and height would be 30 pixel again. Okay, so let's format this. Let's see our front end. So you can see that the Facebook icon animation is also working. Also the color is changing, and also this full box is working. Also the menu is shrinking like this. Okay. So just now we have to do what we have to do. We have to just duplicate this. So we have this 3 grid layout, and just we have to copy this. Okay, so let's write it here. Grid layouts, and here let's format this. So just we have to copy this. Okay, so this is the main div. If we have to copy this from this. Okay, just copy this 2 times. Let's format this, save. So you can see that we have the boxes here. So just we have to change the content. So let me quickly change the content. So after that, for this, we have to change this to, suppose you have to change this to Instagram, and here we have to change the color. Write BG red here, and for this green, right here BG red. Okay, so we have to, okay, and here also we have to write here BG red, and for the hover we have to write here BG red 500. Or if you want to change here also, you can change like it 2 3. Just save and see our front end. Okay, so this is looking like this. Now we have to go to the last one, and here we have to write Twitter like this, and let's change this also 34, and just you have to go here and write here green, and just you have to change this color to green, and for the hover color also green 500. So let's save, format. Let's see our front end. Okay, so our this section is perfectly working now, and after that we have to make the chart section. Okay, so our the boxes sections are done. Now we have to just go to the our chart section, and we're gonna make this our chart at last. So let's save this, and you have to just render here after the our after this comment. So let's write here our chart. Just call it here. Let's save, and you can see that our chart is coming. Just leave it, and we're gonna make this at last. Okay, then after the, and after this what we have to do, we have to make our right section. Okay, so our left section is ended here. You can see that this one, this line till here is our left section. So we can comment after this uh, left section ends here, so it will be better readable. Then here we have to write right section starts from here. Okay, so this is our dashboard last section. So let's write it here div, and we're gonna give the id of right. Okay, then let's give the classes here p2 flex call, justify center, item center gap of 4, and height would be full. Okay, then inside this you have to write div. So this will contain two sections. One is the top section. So right here top. Let's give the class name. Minimize this. Okay, so top, and here we're gonna give the classes bg slate 100, padding would be 8, width full, rounded excel flex, and then flex column, justify center, item center gap of 6, and height would be fit. Okay, so let's format this, and we have to go to the view. And okay, so after that inside this top section we have to make a div. So let's comment here image box, and after that let's give some styling to this also. Width full, flex, flex call, item center, and gap of 4. Okay, so inside this image box you have to make an image here, and right here client, and right here client image. Then let's give some classes. Rounded full, width would be 100 pixel, and height would be 100 pixel again. Okay, let's format this, and let's get back to our front end. You can see that it is started rendered here. Now we have to after the image tag, we have to start a div here. So let's give this div some class name, flex call, justify center, item center. Okay, inside this we're gonna give h1, and let's write jack Anderson. You can write whatever name you want. So let's give this some classes, text black, font bold, text to excel. Okay, so after the h1 tag we have to give a p tag and write it here at jack Anderson. So you can write any random name. Then inside the p tag write here class name, text slate 700, and text lg. Let's format this, and you can see that it is rendered here. So after that so our image box is done. So we have to okay, so our image box is done. So after the image box we have to make another div. Okay, so let's give the id followers info, and in the classes let's add flex, specify between, item center gap of 8, and width would be full. Then inside this you have to write a div, and let's style this text call, item start. So this will contain h1 193, and after that we have to write p posts. Okay, so let's give this h1 class name, text to excel, text black, font semi bold. Okay, so after that, for the p, we have to give some styling. We have to don't give some styling. So let's see. Let's format this. Save. You can see that it is rendered here. So just we have to duplicate it. Okay, so just now we have to duplicate this div 3 times. Let's format this. Let's save. Okay, so this is rendered. So just you have to change the content. So let's write it here 17.536, and place of post you have to write followers, and after that at last you have to write to 74. You can write any number and write it here following format the code. Okay, so you can see that this section is now ready. Okay, so our top section is ready. Now we have to make the bottom section. So let's go outside this top div, and here we're gonna write div, and inside this let's give the id bottom. Let's give some styling, pg black, width full, height full, padding 6, rounded excel, flex column, justify center, item center, gap of 8. Okay, so let's format this, and you have to go inside this div, then write div. Okay, so inside this we have to make this div first. So let's give this some classes, flex, and for the md, flex row, and for the small screen, flex column, justify between, item center, width full, okay, and gap of 2. Then after that, inside this you have to write h1, and for the h1 we have to write facebook cmpa pai facebook campaign. Okay, so let's give this facebook some classes, text white, text md. So let's format this, and after the h1 tag you have to write button, write it here active. So let's get back to the front end. Okay, so let's give this button some classes, pg green 600, left right, padding in the x direction would be 6, padding in the y direction would be 1, rounded axle, cursor pointer, text md. Okay, so it is rendered here. Now after this to make another div. Okay, so let's give this div some classes. Let's justify between item center width full height would be fit. Let's call md flex row gap would be 4. Format this, and inside this div we have to go and write here div, and this div will contain h1 1 to 9, and we have to trigger another for p tag here and write it here followers today. Okay, so let's this outer div give some class flex call justify center item start and gap would be 1. Then for the h1 you have to write text white x2xl font will be bold. So let's see our front end first. Okay, so now we have to style our followers today. Give class text slate 200 text sm. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to just duplicate this 2 times. Let's save. You can see that it is come here, just you have to change the content. So let's change this to 50,000 followers goals, and for this we have to change to 10,000, or you can change anything you want. So here I'm gonna write followers online. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is change. So let's format this. Okay, so now we have to go outside this div and we have to make another div here. So let's give this div some classes. Flex, and in medium screen flex would be row, or small screen flex would be column. Justify between item center and width would be full. Then inside this div, write div and write class name, and here we have to write flex minus space x minus 4 rt1 space x reverse width full md justify start justify center item start, and inside this we have to render an image. So let's write it here client 1, and let's write it here client image. Then we're gonna give the class of width 10 height 10 border 2 border white rounded full. Okay, let's save this. Okay, so this is trigger here. Now we have to just duplicate this 6 times. 3 a 1 2 3 4 5 6. So let's save this, and so you can see that we have this. Now we have to just change the images here to 3, and write the random images to be like this. Okay, so you can see that it is looking like that. And at last, after this, inside this, after this image gallery tag, we have to make a div here and write here h1, then plus 7294, and for the p tag, all time. Then inside this, right here, all justify center gap of 1. क्लास नेम हो जाएगा टेक्स्ट वाइट, टेक्स्ट एक्सेल, font bold, and for the p we have to write text slate 200 text sn. Let's format this, and you can see that our this section is also ready. And if I go to the inspect, you can see that this is totally responsive also. Okay, like that. Okay, so only our one section is left, which is our chart section. Okay, so for making our chart section, let's get back to our chart.jsx, and we have to go we have to import a library or install a library. So write it here reactjs2, then go to this website, and from here go to the npm, just copy this and open your PowerShell, then just paste this and install the chart.js library for making the chart. Okay, so let's wait for it. Okay, so this is installed. Now we have to go to this website, go to here example, and from here go to the vertical bar chart, and from here let's wait for it to open. Okay, so this is open. Just we have to open this in the editor. So here you can find so many charts available here, so you can choose whatever you want. So let me just go here, and we're gonna copy this whole code, and let's go to our chart and just paste this code here. So now we have to do some changes here. So what are the changes? So we have to remove this data and enter here empty array. Also write it here empty, remove all this data and write it here empty array. Then what changes you have to do? You have to remove this as constant. Okay, like that. Okay, so and you have to remove this faker library, import faker. Okay, that's it. Just format this. So now let's get back to our front end. So here you can see that we have some error. So let's see what is the error. We have to go to the inspect, and from here let's open our console. The requested module does not provide an export name default. Let's write it here rfc. Okay, so let's do one more thing. Let's remove this. Okay, so let's copy this bar from here, and we're gonna paste this bar inside this, and let's remove this. Okay, so we have to just format this. Let's save this. Okay, so you can see that our chart is now working, and you can see that we are getting the chart here. So now what we have to do, we have to just add some values here. So let's add here 1000 to suppose 3000, then write it here 5000, 7000, 9000, 6000, 4000, like that. So let's save this. So you can see that we have this chart here. So let's give this value here also 3000, 4000, 5000, 1000, 3000. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 1 2 3 4 5, then write it here 6000 again, and for the 9000. So let's save this. So you can see that our chart is now working here. Okay, and just you have to change the color of this. If you want to change this, you can also add this also. Okay, so this is showing here below, and these are all the values which are showing here. Okay, so if you want to change this text here, you can do this. Just write here overall or whatever you want to write. So let's see. So it is changed here, and for the data sets we can also change the value. Just you have to go here and change the value of you can write anything average. Okay, so if here we can write something like report data something. Let's save this. Okay, so you can see that it is changed. Now just you have to change the color. Okay, so for changing the color you can go to here inside this, and you have to just enter the color here. Suppose I give the red to this, and we're gonna give the black to this. Okay, so let's save this. Okay, so you can see it is not changed, so I think we have to give it in the same like that. Let's see. Okay, so this is changed. Okay, so in this way you can give this to this also. Okay, so you can see that our all the sections are now working properly, and our project is and our dashboard is now completely working also. So let me go to the responsiveness part of this video. If I go to the inspect, so let me go to this, and so here you can see that it is totally responsive also for all the screens, and also our chart is working perfectly in the mobile screen also. You can see that. Okay, so you can see that our whole project is ready, and let's move to the final part of the video where we're gonna deploy this project on the Netlify. Okay, so for deploying the project, let's go to the Netlify website first, and here you have to make an account here. Okay, so first log in here. So let me. So I already have an account, so I will log in here. Okay, so after login, we have to go to our VS Code, and there we have to run some commands. Go to your shell PowerShell, and here you have to write npm run build and press enter. So it will build for you, and you have to just import that file to the Netlify. So it will be okay. So it has made the build. So this is the build folder. Okay, so this is the folder in the dist. So just we have to upload this folder over here. So let's go to this, and here we have to go to add new sites. So let's go, and here after that we have to select the deploy manually, then browse to upload. Then from here let's go to my project, which is a new dashboard, and from here I have to choose the dist folder. Just upload the folder and upload. So it will take some time to upload, and let's wait for it. Okay, so it is uploaded here. So just you have to go to the site overview, and from here go to site configuration, and here you can change your site URL. So if I want to change the URL like dashboard react tailwind css, so you can name whatever you want. Just save it, so it will give you a link to open your project. So like this. So let's open this. So you can see that we have successfully deployed our project for free on the Netlify. Okay, so in this way you can deploy your project and showcase in your resume, okay, to your HR. And this project is completed, and this is also totally responsive for all the screens. So and you can use this link to share with your friends, and you can add this link to your CV. Okay, if you like our video, please like and subscribe to our channel, share our videos with your friends, and I'm gonna see you next time with an awesome project again. So subscribe to our channel if you are new our channel, and I'm gonna see you next time.